Please stand by. We'll be starting soon. Bah! Hi. Welcome, everyone. Hi, everyone. It is time to begin. Let's get this going and stuff. And yeah. Let's do our weekly update. So, of course, we're still on ICOM. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, it's chugging along. It's looking at the task list that I want to get through appears to be getting done fairly fast. I'm going to say it's going to be at worst, at most, longest a month before we start the transition over to, project exploration and working on that. We had, or I had, I guess, and I guess there's a little bit of we in it with, friends that help me out with things in ways. But we had a lot of productivity this week. Got a lot of stuff done, and some really interesting and new features. So let's start by going over those as usual with our weekly update. The last time we left off, I was having some issues with some popping and clicking happening in the Discord mixer, and I had worried that C# was just maybe a little too slow to handle, doing straight mixing. There's a couple things that I was maybe like doing wrong, and some realizations that I had from then and now. And the first was buffer swapping. I should have been working on a buffer that was prepared and ready to be shipped off to Discord right when it was needed. So basically, what happens is when you send something to Discord with write async, it will queue up a buffer, and it takes a bit of time for it to go through those bytes as it sends it. It turns out what we did not need to do was wait for flush async. Flush async will force a lock until all those bytes are actually emptied out. We don't want to do that, essentially. So let that be a lesson learned for anyone else who has to do this. Don't use flush async unless apparently you're disconnecting the call. You call that when basically you want to flush all the bytes out before disconnecting, so it disconnects cleanly. That was the first thing learned. But that also told me, and with some unit testing and tests that I did, which we can even show that. Oop, desktop scene is not showing my desktop. Let's show that display capture. Why did it disappear? There we go. There's that display. Looks like it's fitting in there just fine. Okay, so over here, I ended up writing test Discord voice sending. This actually ended up hitting the Discord voice service with different things. I can't use it when it's running, like other things are tied in, but basically you have to be connected and running, with Unity, and you click that to, I ran some different tests to see what was actually happening. But yeah, we found that essentially, you would want to use you don't want to use flush async until you disconnect. Write async just basically is a delay that writes all the bytes to its own buffer. So that's the buffer swap, it turns out. So what you do is you build your own buffer, and then you send it off to Discord's buffer with that write async, and then that's swapping it out for a fresh new buffer for you then to write your stuff into, and then you go in that pattern. One thing that I need to implement next, and I will actually add it to the task list now before I forget to do that again. Discord mixer needs a buffer selection, because on some PCs the buffer is still too small for audio to be nice and smooth. So what I need to do is actually let you pick between different sizes that will smooth that out for your system. Unfortunately, it does mean more delay, but it'll, the greater the buffer you actually have, just like, when using Osseo or anything else, will smooth out, the sending of audio to Discord and how what you hear. So yeah, that was that. There was also the noise, however, that we were getting turned out to be something different. That increased and perfected the performance, but the noise was coming from a little stupid mistake that I made. Waveforms, the float values, the data goes from -1 to 1. I was clamping it from 0 to 1. Big oops. And that was causing essentially the the audio to fail. Let me quick pause. Okay, never mind. I just wanted to check on Pumpkin and make sure that she was set to the right settings. Okay, she is. And that's a fun little thing that we'll go over next too, now that you see Pumpkin here reliably on screen and not me messing with her settings. But yeah, so yeah, the lesson there was not to clamp 0 to 1, but to -1 to 1, because a waveform for audio goes from -1 to 1. And especially if it's, signed PCM, which is the default, the de facto standard. And that should be the giveaway too, signed PCM. But whatever. So fix that. And then another thing that I had done to increase performance, it turned out, was just simply upgrading to Unity 6. I don't use a lot of AICom's not super graphically intensive. And you saw it actually when I had the screen displayed here. You see Unity 6 preview. It says preview, but it's not very much a preview for me. It was actually a pretty strong upgrade. And this is because I don't really use a whole lot of the built-in graphic stuff. A lot of actually what I do isn't even Unity based, because the audio engine is bypassing Unity entirely. I don't use Unity's audio system. It's using port audio, which is the same thing as Audacity. So that doesn't even ever touch Unity's subsystem for audio at all ever. And like a lot of things that I do in general don't use built-in Unity functions, ironically. The GUI clearly is, and obviously the avatar display is, but those are very basic, and there was some glitching, and there still is like a little bit of glitching that I might look at and try to clean up as we go along, but it didn't break anything. Like, there was no issues with the conversion at all. And if not, it just improved everything, because we went from basically, an implementation of Mono 4.5 to C#9, which is, actual C#9. And that had almost a 4x improvement in performance, like of any C# code running. It was quite impressive, honestly. Like that will help a lot with ICOM. Does help a lot with ICOM, actually. And when we go to work on project exploration, I guess we'll start with that project being Unity 6 and see what we have to do. And if shit isn't working, pardon my language, if stuff isn't working, we'll switch it. We'll come up with what we need to, essentially, to make it work. I know it sounds a little bad, and it sounds like duct tape code, but that's the difference between that and duct tape code, is that like we're writing code that we know will work versus and still in a structured and elegant way that isn't it's just going around bad code rather than taping over bad code. And anyways, that the next big thing that I started working on from that is actually receiving audio. So once I got that all smoothed out, that we were sending out audio just fine, and all the audio systems were going through like all the MP3s waves and MP4s and all the mixing was happening just fine. And it was running smoothly. It was basically a lot of bug fixes and checks and just optimizations and other things like that to make that work nice and tight, nice and clean, making sure that it's actually killing starting and killing streams properly and that stuff. Um, then we started taking in streams. So I set up the everything to actually start listening to whoever's in the call. So each one of those actually ends up processing in the same way as if you're talking to the AI in VR chat, with some slight differences. There are slight differences because Discord gives us a call end essentially. And so that gives us an event basically to trigger, or not call end, but at least a user stopping their speech. And that gives us a context, event to kind of fire on for setting up, whether or not checkpoints essentially to check the audio and see where, if it's ready to be processed or not. So it'll use Discord's like AudioGate for that, which could be problematic, but it still does the same thing with VR chat, where if a person's talking too damn long, it will just like give up listening to them and process what what it's heard. And yeah, it's become great to have, like with our bot that we use personally, Delphi. We have her just sit in the call silently playing music and always listening for commands. So, all those different channels are always hitting and being processed. But, she set the silent mode so she doesn't react unless, directly asked to, or even like how I have Pumpkin set up, like, hey, Pumpkin, how are you doing? And she's going to lag, so I'll get her at some time. But, or is she going to respond? Because I failed to test that. Hey, Pumpkin, how are you doing? Okay, there she goes.
Quack.
Quack. Okay, just quack. But yeah, so all those different streams now go through into ICOM, and ICOM can hear different users, and she now can like the AIs can now, when in a Discord call at least, differentiate who what users who, and know how to respond to each individual user separately. So that makes it a little fun. If something the AI chooses to tone in on a specific person, it can. So yeah, context, downsampler. Oh yeah, so there was another thing that had been coded, but it's just obvious. It was discovered that basically everything Discord is 48 kilohertz audio, and stereo. So I had to write a downsampler for anything that the bot heard, to take 48 kilohertz stereo into 24 kilohertz mono, to pass through to what you call it, WhisperX essentially, because that's the preferred format for WhisperX to get the fastest with quality text generation out of it. And yeah, then there was a simple down mixer that needed to be encoded, and then from there was the next bit of basically setting it up to where the bot can be DM'd. So yeah, now the Jokin, for example, it was announced in our Discord that you can now talk directly to Jokin. That was what was coded for that. So yeah, there was an initial snafu with that where, oops, I forgot to separate the contexts between each different user, but it was simple enough to basically split each user off by basically a channel, because it turns out Discord will set a channel for every user that talks to the bot through DMs. So it already has like the channel that you talk to the AI in. That is the main channel that it filters for. So it looks to see if it's a DM channel or the channel that's supposed to be talking in. And if it's the channel that the channel that's supposed to be talking in, then that gets its own channel ID. But every DM channel apparently has its own unique channel ID as well. So it's easy to use that as the index for sorting conversation buffers, and that is basically what we did. So those different conversation buffers are sorted out by that, and now everyone that speaks to Jokin through DMs has their own personal conversation buffer with Jokin. There is some things that the bot can still have overlap in. Message history, for example. If you have your bot set up with the message history system, with the vector database stuff, I mean, it's just like any human being. It's going to remember what somebody else told it. So, in some ways, the bot can play a little bit of middleman, but without it won't do it too actively. And that history vector, I think, in Jokin is still limited. I don't remember if I have it actually set up fully. But basically, it will remember these things, but it'll take a lot to get Jokin to tell you something somebody else told her, essentially. But before that, when it was all one message pool, she just looked at it all as one active conversation that was happening, and that was bad because she was actually talking about other users to other users as they were talking to each other, and it was also throwing off the conversation flow, of course, too, which really wasn't good. So still be a little careful of talking to Jokin if you're trying to keep things perfectly private. But also don't worry. If there's stuff that we don't want in there, we'll probably purge it out. I don't plan on actually having. Actually, I am wrong. I just realized. No, never mind. I'm right. Yeah, it's all going history vectors. That history vector database, anyways, gets purged when the software is restarted. So she may remember midterm as basically what that vector database does, but she won't remember long term. So that's that out of the way. DMing, and now I've been working on splitting the avatar view context. And if I wish people would not DM me while I'm streaming. If you have something to say, come say it here. Don't DM me. Come on. But anyways, next thing that I've been working on is actually split viewing AI com for the avatar, because one of the problems I was having is like right now with Pumpkin, right? I couldn't get to the options without hitting the escape key to bring up the options in full screen, and it would swap. And I can still do that to some degree because I changed the behavior of that. To basically toggle the avatar on in that panel and a side panel versus, and let me just show. So now, this is the new look of AICOM. Normally this is the default look, and when you hit escape, it would show the avatar, but the menu would go away and you couldn't see anything. But now it just pushes the menu off to the right, and the left side of the window gets designated for your AI. I had originally wanted, honestly, to use two different windows, and I saw what Warudo did, and I was thinking, hey, that would be a great idea, like to have it just spawn another application. And I'd been already saying, like, man, I need to probably do a viewer application for this. But that is overkill. And I also realize it's not necessary, but also it's inconvenient. it's actually more convenient this way to have one window and just panel the window rather than spawning a new window and having to deal with it that way. So yeah, this is the direction I decided to go to make it just easier to set up and interact with your AI and have all this nice and off to the side and have your AI, of course, displayed and visible for your stream. Whee! Oh, there's that one. And yeah, Pumpkin's not on there for some reason. There we go. Yeah, there. Yeah, she wasn't. And so you can see if you have it this way. Yeah, you see the full like UI. But what you would do is just pull those over essentially. And then now this portion, this little display, is guaranteed to never be covered or neither covered nor changed in size. So it's always to that left. So this doesn't, get broken. So if I were to take the window, the icon window, and bring it over here, well, yeah, it does kind of get chopped a little bit. But you can see it kind of tries to stay still at least within the relative area. But I mean, you can just put it back on the screen. It belongs in full screen. But yeah, there you go. It at least keeps accidentals from happening a bit better, and allows you to still interact and configure the AI without losing it. Having the UI cover the screen and no more needing to remember to press escape to go back to avatar view to make sure the avatar is shown. But I feel it needs options and still some cleanup, which those options and cleanups are what we're going to do today, I guess. Unless anybody has any specific help or things that they want to bring on to the channel or to this. Our project for today, which we will start now, will be working on that specific. And let me turn off system notifications. I didn't realize those were still on. I hate system sounds. Wee, go away. Boop. Okay, so we will be working on the interface and cleaning that up to make Pumpkin more displayable. The first thing that's actually pretty noticeable is Pumpkin's mouth is stuck wide open there. Hey Pumpkin, why is your mouth stuck open?
Quack.
Quack. Hey Pumpkin, why is your mouth stuck open?
Quack.
Why are you just quacking? It's strange. Yeah, hey Pumpkin, why are you just quacking? Can't you say anything else?
Quack. Oh, sorry about that. I got a bit carried away with the quacking. Quack. What were we talking about again, friend?
I think I might need a global hotkey to turn your talking on and off so it makes it easier to converse with you. Right now it's just boop. Okay. I mean, we were talking about why your mouth is stuck open. Your Visum seem to be stuck in your display.
Quack.
Just quack. Is that really all you have to say for yourself? Is
Quack.
Quack? Quack.
Quack.
Okay, this is weird. She's definitely acting very strange.
Quack.
Let's see. If we go to her settings, though,
Quack. Oh, you're trying to fix me, friend. Quack. I think I might need a little school-garden intervention, quack.
Yeah, apparently, because you're just saying quack and nothing else, and now you're finally talking. You just decide to ignore me for a little while? What was wrong with you?
Sorry about that, friend. I think I just got a bit overwhelmed with all the quacking, quack. Sometimes my pumpkin cat girl brain gets a little mixed up, and I start quacking non-stop, quack. But I'm all better now, thanks for being patient with me, friend.
Okay, so what can you tell us about Visemes? What are they?
Ooh, Visoons. Visoons are like virtual costumes, quack. School's been working on them, and they're so much fun. You can wear them on your avatar and change your appearance, quack.
I see.
They're
you did
like
something
totally
completely different.
customizable, and you can get really creative with them, quack.
Visamaze, I guess, is, I don't know how you would say it. I guess the closest way to put it in English is Visame. What do you know about Visamaze?
Quack.
Quack. That's all you got is quack.
Quack.
Oh boy, man.
Quack. Did someone say my name, quack?
We're gonna make you quack less. It's time to take out some of your quackiness.
Fine, no more quacks.
Here, so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Obviously, going through because I had all these quacks added here in her personality traits to kind of enforce that quacking. It was done as a joke a long time ago, a really long time ago, and it's mainly just because this has always been the development environment that I work on. I come on.
Oh, hi. I was just helping Schooled with her stream.
Hey, now we're getting there. Okay, but what can you tell us about Visamaze? What are Visamaze?
Oh. I don't know about Visamaze, but I can tell you a pumpkin pun. Why did the pumpkin go to the party? Because it was a gold time.
I see, I see.
Hello.
Hi.
Fire, fun.
What can you tell us about lip syncing on models?
Quack. Oh, lip syncing on models. I think Schooled knows more about that than me, but I can try to help.
Okay. Your lip syncing is causing your mouth to stay wide open. What's up with that?
Quack. Oh, sorry about that. I think I need to adjust my blend shapes.
Close enough. So what's going on?
Quack.
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 Quack. Is basically it's
Quack.
stuck open like that.
Hee
And we
just
don't
hanging
want it
out with Schooled on her stream, trying to
stuck
help with her
open.
programming stuff.
Yeah, that you
Oh, no.
are.
That sounds like a real bugbear. Quack.
Yeah, it's a
Maybe
pretty
we can
bad
debug
bug.
it together.
Yeah, let's try.
Quack. Don't worry, Schooled's got this. I'm just here to provide moral support. And cute cat girl vibes.
Which, anyways, so some of the problems we're having with this is obviously like mouths are stuck open. Check lip syncing. What we want to add here, and I'm just building tonight's task list basically for the stream. What we want to add here is a color picker for background for avatar background. I don't know. Image? I don't know, should we implement something that would display an image? And is there any way that I can hot stream that into a texture? Maybe, probably. I think there is. There might be ways of loading PNGs and JPEGs. I do have file picker UI elements that I already have, so I can probably do something that can load that element. Obviously, like color picker would have to have transparency to it too. So color picker. We also would probably want a mouse controls. You see that press escape thing down there? What do I call that? I don't know. Info UI, info pop needs to be centered to main UI, and that's its problem. Right now, it's centered to the screen when it should be centered to the main UI. Controls should auto fade because it's kind of annoying that they're there. Or maybe should there be a button? Actually, you know what? This should have a toggle. Mode switch should be both escape key and toggle. So that initial mode switch that happens, it should have a toggle whether or not to, to this for its state, but so it could also save it that way, but also so that the escape key behaves in different ways. So this is functionality, and this is options. And let's move this one down to functionality. And we have color picker for avatar background, and we have maybe an image. And you know what? Let's do it. Let's just do it. Allow you to put a freaking image back there. Mouse controls. That's functionality. And yeah, this bit is again functionality. And then, controls should have a toggle. So the three UI elements we're going to create here are color picker, image, loader, our selector, and the controls UI over here should have a toggle on and off. But then, wait, there's a mode switch. Okay, actually, this isn't functionality. This is an option too. So there's our three UI options that we want to add, and the functionality we want to take a look at. And we're going to start with lip syncing. Hey, let's get the music back on. There we go. All right, and now let's look at that. Avatar viewer. This is probably not it, but I do still have it up here somewhere, I think. Wait, is it? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the cheap little trick I did actually for the UI to work here. The camera that is now the avatar camera, I nudged over in this little area. Because obviously Pumpkin's rendered right nice dead center. And, obviously without FOV problems, that was an interesting thing when it originally happened. To fix that, what needed to happen is the avatar viewer here with his camera. Where is the camera? I guess main camera. Yeah, main camera here is the avatar camera. This main camera, you see if I turn it on and off, is there. If you notice, if I turn the UI camera off, it's on the right hand side. That's because this main camera is set to display with a half screen rendering from 0 to half. The UI camera is still full screen, but what happens is there's a little UI element because we have a horizontal layout group here, right? We have an UI element, this AI avatar space. This is literally just a spacer, but it also houses the controls. And now you'll also see though, like this purple is back there in the background of the UI. That's intentionally purple until you start, because of course when you start it, one of the things I was planning for and never actually did was color theming and light mode and
Good
dark
morning.
mode.
I am ready to
Currently,
talk with you.
There's just a dark mode. So that purple actually gets turned into the UI background gray. And yeah, there you go. There's your UI stuff. Ooh, that sits in there a little tight and doesn't give you the horizontal scroll bar. Huh, odd. Why didn't it give a horizontal scroll bar? Should it give a horizontal scroll bar? Ah, I keep trying to resize right there in this window, which is a no-go. It's so inviting to put your mouse over it to want to resize there. I don't know if that's something I can even do. Yeah, though. Why is this not have it? Why doesn't that have a UI, a scroll bar? Didn't I set up one for that? If I go to yeah, so there's the interactions main tab. Scroll bar horizontal is not even turned on. Intentionally off. Auto hide and expand viewport. Well, it's not auto showing or hiding. Permanent. No? Wait. It says it's there. Huh? If I just auto hide, no, auto hide and expand viewport. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe look at that later. It's not the current thing to focus on. Okay, so what we got here is the avatar view. Lip sync. So we have cases of A, B, A, E, I, O, U. Something I have set as setting these blend shape avatar clips I. Okay, BS proxy. What is this? BS proxy. Avatar component VRM blend shape proxy. Okay, this is just the proxy for VRM. And so that's setting the, okay. Calculate now. Runtime. Where did I originally? What I want to see is what it's detecting as the values for each blend shape, but I don't know what's up with this. What does this happen? Load. Oh, okay. So this is actually, if I go to this thing's definition, it's a blend shape key. Okay, AEIOU. All right. So let's find all references of that, and when it BS proxy immediately set value A. Okay, so we have UI A E O. Get lerped value with I pivot U pivot of the VU value. It's the VU that it's processing by, and okay. So we probably want here, and just to kind of see, I guess, what's going on. Do I want to build a little debugger, or do I want to just print it? Because it's like when I build debuggers, I tend to expose them out here, for people to see. That fanciness here somewhere, and what's going on. I don't know if that's a necessary thing that we want to actually live see all the time, or maybe have as a toggle for seeing. But then, I mean, that's what the mouth is supposed to be, is a visual debug. It seems it's really pointless for an end user to actually see that debug information. So I guess we'll spam the console for now. Debug.log, and I guess we're setting A E I O U A E E I O U. Now at resting, this should all be 0, and if it's not 0, then we got some weird problem. I guess also to top it off, we'll do log. Actually, we'll do, let's give this more relevant info. VU. And then, of course, and it'll actually be easier. I work in weird ways. Sue me. I O U E I O U. There we go. Okay, and we'll stop that, and then we'll have something that prints to the console pretty madly. What's going on there? We should see a bunch of zeros, but clearly, I don't know, that doesn't look like a bunch of zeros to me with her face in resting mode.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
She doesn't have resting bitch face. She has resting derp face. I mean, what? Okay, let's use collapse. Okay, it is all zeros. How is that a 0? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's see if we can find the avatar. And, whee, hi. Look at that. Let's have her say something real quick and see what goes on. Interaction, converse, okay. Hello, I'm Bakabot. Oh, oops.
Hey, Scold. Looks like BakerBot is trying to steal the show. Don't worry, I've got a gold time joke to get us back on track. Why did the pumpkin go to the party? Because it was a gold time.
That was a terrible joke. Anyways, yeah, so that's actually working. But why does it have resting derp face? Yeah, the way I do Visemes is a custom mix of a formula that I set up. This AEUI pivot. Let's see, avatar viewer. I think I set it up on avatar viewer specifically. Yeah, I made sliders based on the VU of the output of the bot. And yeah, when it reaches a certain point, it thinks it's the position of the mouth, I, A, E, O. This is actually how most of them work under the hood. So little spoilers, I guess, if you ever want to do lip syncing a cheap and easy way. This is basically how it's done under the hood in most implementations. It's just, this loudness is you, this loudness is I, and it's because of it's based off the loudness of the the vowel, the sound that is being made. Like when you say you, ooh, it's usually about this pitch or this volume where E, A, O, like, there's even pitch to it. Ooh, yow. Anyways, yeah, you can see though it's doing its thing. And yeah, oh, it's usually ah. Usually your mouth, your speech is gonna be a little louder during that. VRChat probably has at this point something a little fancier than this, where it's actually taking an equation of a normalization. So it's probably doing something to normalize the values before it gets passed through this, which would improve its functionality in that environment. But since it's the bot talking, it's actually usually a consistent volume. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's the avatar. It just has resting dirt face for some reason. I do want to make sure that there's nothing else on the avatar that's causing this. So let's go ahead and just delete this. Here we go. Like you see, it's because it's live and animated. I have no problem with actually showing the original bot project. Let's look at her bot project and see what's going on here. So VC Face, because originally the project's called VC Face because originally it was VC Face that used these, VRM models. And of course, obviously VC Face was an inspiration to doing that. And yeah, you see what is going on here, because this is not the same. One of these things are not like the other. Why is this one not derpy, where this one is derpy? Is there maybe something? Here's the blend shape. Okay, the blend shapey thing. So here's the blend shape. Natural is just, or neutral is just set that way. Yeah, none of these, neutral has nothing set. Obviously, A has A set, which is not previewing, which is kind of concerning. List. Yeah, I don't see in here what could possibly cause any of these to be off. So there is definitely something wrong going on with VRM or with whatever's happening when this avatar is loaded in ICOM. So we need to figure out what that is. And what is going on over here? Look at that. What is that? Secondary. Nope. What even is secondary? Whee! Never noticed the hair was overlapped in that way, I guess. Well, anywho. Yeah, I can close that out. So what is causing the resting dirt face? We do have something strange causing resting dirt face that needs to be resolved.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
Hey Pumpkin Chan, why do you have resting dirt face? Pumpkin Chan? Hello?
Pumpkin chain. Follow.
Why do you have resting dirt face?
Oh, sorry about that.
What
I was
face?
just concentrating on helping Sis
cool.
with her code. I just woke
My
up
orange
from a
eyes
nap.
got a bit
Scroll
crossed.
Chan, that's all.
Wow, there was two of her talking. I totally forgot to pause the one. Yeah, why do you have resting dirt face?
Quack. I don't have a resting dirt face.
No, dirt
I'm a pumpkin
face,
cat girl,
pumpkin
remember.
Dirt face.
I'm just a little dot seasonal.
Oh, okay. I guess that explains it all, huh? Anyway.
Hee, sorry about that. I guess I was just being a little too cute.
Yeah. All right, so. Okay, is there anything else that the blend shape stuff? Okay, if I blend. Like, clearly something is going on. Because these are only blend shape keys I'm affecting, as far as I know. I don't think there's other blend shape keys that I am coding off differently. And would these values have an unexpected different value that I'm missing? So the immediately set value takes in a key and a float value. We saw all those values were 0. A, E, U, E, O, we're all getting 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, supposedly. For shits and giggles, make sure something isn't just kind of, I don't know, going duh. Well, let's outright disable it. Turn off, blend shape adjustments. If we still have resting derp, we know that it's not that chunk of code causing it. That's something else somewhere is causing it.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
No, you're not. You're not even appearing yet. Oh, there's another thing to add to the task list. There we go. This is over here. Loading and no avatar indicators not appearing. There's supposed to be indicators in the space here where Pumpkin Chan is that tell you like, hey, it's still loading or not. There we go. Yeah, maybe those controls can go in here or something instead. They fine. I think they're fine in there. Reset button, I think. There we go. All right, so yeah, she's still resting dirt face. So again, like as pointed out, whatever is happening is not happening because of Izemes. Could it be the animator? Hey, Pumpkin Chan, do you think it's the animator?
What? I think it's possible, Schooled. Maybe the animator needs a little tweaky fixie.
Well, let's look at the idle animation here. Whoa, that popped up in a different way. The idle animation has a lot going on here, but I see nothing that would touch blend shape. I would like to know what blend shapes it's even running or executing that is causing the dirt face, to be honest. Okay, so let's see if we can find out. Let's hit play here. The problem is that this is a non-standard format that is loading, and I can't really like just drop it in and like
Good
look
morning.
at what it's doing.
I am ready to talk with
because
you.
obviously I gotta wait for the VRM system to actually load the VRM file. This isn't like a VR chat avatar or something like that, where it's still a Unity based thing, and it literally is its own file format that it's taking and parsing into something usable by Unity. So it's quite interesting in that regard. But yeah. Yeah, I think I see what's also wrong here too. Preview avatar is the camera calling, and I think the main camera here. Oh. No, I feel like a jackass. Or maybe they're just never turned on. I don't know. We'll figure out. So here's the body. Okay, so we got that. We got a face. So it creates a VRM or an avatar in itself. We can temporarily clone this so it lets go of it animator wise and everything else. So now we have this thing that is cloned of the original. We can remove the VRM meta script, so we can just strip it of its VRMness. Okay, so strip it of any VRMness. Turn off the animator. Although it's kind of still stuck in this pose. But with that, though, we have now just the base skin mesh renderer. And obviously it's the face we're concerned with because it's, like I said, stuck in dirt face. But none of these Visemes seem to reflect that at all. Interesting. Oh, there we go. O is working. A is doing nothing. E is kind of doing something there. VR chat A is doing nothing there. I mean, clearly something is happening here, or something is stuck on or something too. It's almost as if it got exported with something turned on by default. Okay. Mood. Yeah, I don't see what is. Somehow it like saved a blend shape into this position and wrote it out that way into the VRM file. And now, because it doesn't look like it's anything in this side of things either, because we can clearly see that all these Visemes, or these blend shapes, are zeroed. And we've cloned the avatar model entirely out, so it has nothing controlling it. Like, this is an isolated instance, and we can bring the original back just fine right there, and then like we can move our clone, away there. It's kind of the fun of Unity when debugging stuff is you do get to edit and play with stuff during runtime. You can't really do that with other game engines. But it does become extremely helpful for debugging things like this. And I don't see. Clearly all of the options are set to 0 here. Yeah, there has to be clearly something then baked in to the... Oh, here we go. Let's remove this. Yeah, no. And that. No. And that. No. The VRM look at thing could come in handy if we want to emulate the Warudo, like look at the camera behavior. I don't like it though. but I could add it as an option. Yeah, I don't know. You keep removing shit. And we keep seeing the same shamo shamo. Face baked, though. So the VRM file had to have stored something in it. Where is? So much crap on the screen. VC face. Let's go back to the VC face project and see if there's something maybe in that is possibly causing this. In the meantime, well, okay, no. So Pumpkin Jan, there we go, and okay. Wait, is VRM allow you to bake in animations? I didn't think that was the thing that was allowed. I thought you had to do some other weird stuff. I don't think it is a thing. Okay, VRM blend shape proxy is there again. So it's just this blend shape thing that we looked at before. I don't know, let's double check that, even go down that rabbit hole again real quick. And we can see all the blend shapes are set to defaults. Her face is normal. And we click on her even, we can see that they do, oh. That looks awfully familiar. What wasn't working when we were doing this? Interesting. Why do you suppose it baked with VR set to 1? Because now that I can see that, right? Let's go back to ICOM for a second here. And let's run it again.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
There's her derpy face stuck open again, right? Let's do the same thing where we select her and outright duplicate it. Disable the original. Remove VRM functionality from this. Remove all the VRM functionality. Okay. Now let's focus on that face. We see resting derp face. And when we change you see it's not changing. When we look at that over here, it's the same face, isn't it? So is that a Unity bug? Where it's disrespecting the first blend shape? Or did it get baked in as always on? Why is this blend shape stuck at 100%? Isn't that peculiar? See, that doesn't even use this ah. Doesn't even use the ah from this. Is there? And there's yeah. There's. I don't like that this doesn't have a preview. And that's pretty peculiar that it's not going to its padding when I do that. All right. Now that we're back to that, blend shape, we have neutral, and it doesn't seem to link to it. It's completely unlinked. Hmm. It almost looks like it seems like this neutral is broken, so it bakes a ah as the neutral. But ah is a completely different face here. It's actually that ah. Which also, yeah, is not moving. Oh, moves. E moves. Okay, but not ah. But both ahs seem linked somehow, which is kind of interesting and strange. Well, they definitely stack if you use them together, though. All right, so all of these have links to like objects here that seem to be, baked fine. But this neutral is for some reason fucking up. And can I... Nope. What's going on here? An item with the same key has already been added for key neutral. Oh yeah? Oh. Yeah, that's not good. And that one links to the new one. So how do I delete this? I think the answer might be to trash it. Okay, so this neutral though, what's going on in there? And yeah, okay. Now this should still be up here, but something seems... Oh, hello. Let's remove the bad one, I guess, then. It didn't really remove it. Okay, there we go. So now neutral, okay. And, okay. So it looks like the, what we had here is a neutral got baked in as the wrong thing, as the wrong neutral. So let's just make sure A, E, A, U, A, O, okay. Blink, joy, angry, sorrow, fun, whatever. Look up, look down, look left, look right. Blink L, blink R. Okay, face. All right. You know what's not been coming through? I haven't been getting emotions from ChatGPT and other and you know compatible endpoints. That's actually something the iCore system does. May need to actually have a pass for emotion checking that needs to be rebaked in. So you can get emotions actually for some of these other blend shapes. But anywho, yeah, let's try rebaking this and seeing if that fixes it. I don't know. Select object. Okay, there we go. Let's say whatever. Meta is all that. Mesh, let's make sure it's not doing anything weird. It's kind of bizarre. Is that where these are going? Oh yeah, so they are. Okay, blend shapes. Okay. All right. Now we got a VRM file. Let's over in icon. Go to avatars. Okay, open folder. Okay, hopefully that saved just fine. And now let's reload. Is it all avatars? I should have also checked that if it was other avatars. Let's use my old one See how that loads up. See if it gets resting dirt face.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
Nope. And Jokin? Nope. It was just Pumpkin's avatar. Oh, and look at that. Now it's fine. At least in that view. Over here. Oh. It's the funny part of it. All using the same database. There we go. Now we no longer have resting dirt face. Now let's have her say something.
Hello.
How are you?
There we go.
Hello.
How are you?
And now she should also, work on stream too, the same way. Yeah, there you go, Pumpkin. Your face is now no longer resting derp. Feel better?
Meow. Thanks, Scold. I'm good as
Meow.
new. Now,
Mew?
let's
Oh,
get
no.
back to coding.
Shoot me. Yes, please. Do, 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 do. So that first major task is done. It's too bad it was like really something dumb that we had to waste so much time on. That was almost an hour? No, it was longer than an hour. No, yeah, it was an hour. Never mind. So let's now move on to setting up some UI stuff, I guess, in there. The color picker, I think I want to get in front of you guys, in front of you all, because it's new, it's different. It's not. I haven't made a color pickery thing before, so it'd be interesting to have, as a new thing for stream here. Whee! Okay, so let's bring up that UI. Switch over to game mode here. I'm going to also, for the sake of using this small screen, disable the avatar space. There we go. It makes it a lot easier to work in this UI. But we also had some interesting glitches that I might want to have fixed up first. Nah. I can fix them later, but for now I want to focus on getting this color picker thingy in. So we can minimize that and bring up the avatars tab. There we go. What we have here is the avatars list and some buttons. The buttons were the first things displayed. Okay, so this thing was the avatar tab starts with a vertical layout group. We want to actually create a new internally thing here. And this needs to be the vertical layout group. There we go. Same settings. So I wonder, copy component, paste component values. There you go. And then we can move those little buttons in there. And then we want to remove this vertical layout group and add instead a horizontal layout group. Okay, there we go. And yeah, all zeros is fine. Upper left. Do not force the expansion. Control. This is the this is the horizontal. Control and force expand. Let's clone this so we can see a 2 up. There we go. But this thing needs to have... Okay. Next song. Whatever we are listening to sounds not too good. Too hot for clothes. Okay, this is video games. Just video games. It's supposed to be from Xenogears? Wow. Yeah. Okay, so this thing we have some basic settings, but if we want like constrained element stuff, we can actually use a layout element here. And then we can say preferred width. And in this case, I don't know, it's like freaking 300 pixels. Which, okay, that doesn't do what I want it to do, so we don't want to force the expansion, I guess. There you go. Yep, perfect. And now we get like, yeah, see 300, okay, what? Oh, this is interesting. It is exactly 310. So let's leave it at 310. We know the preferred width is going to be 310 for that little UI list. So let's leave that as 310. And that leaves this little space now that is, let's make this noted avatar list. And this would be options. And now we can get rid of these 2 bits. Wait, this is Xenogears. Last thing, what the hell was the last thing then? Meow 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 meow. Oh no, this is just another Xenogears song. Interesting. Or not, because it's Chrono Trigger. It's just same composer. This is tripping me up. Okay, move next. I don't know. I felt like changing it. Okay, so options. We now have color pickery thingy thing. I'm just thinking out loud of how to do this. I can use the HSV, but I think more people would appreciate that RGB layout. But I'm debating on if I want that to be like something that allows you to input hexadecimal, or something that allows you. It's a kind of a challengey bit of a thing, isn't it? Because there's a lot of different bit of functionality things that all drive the whole thing. And we're going to need a widget. So a widget, and we're going to have to create... Well, we're just going to have to build this out, actually. Options... Like, how do I... The options clearly would need one of these guys, these frames first. So user input, body, buttons, top, area. Okay. Yeah, like that. That thing. So what we want to do is put into options. Oop, come on. Okay, throw that in there. Let's get rid of that interactions tab out of the way there. And let's also gut this thing, obviously. We want to get rid of all these bits. And title, we can call this background. This is going to be the background section. And now we can implement a item, and we'll call it the color picker. This is where things are going to get interesting, because just as every one of these, where I have a DB field line item, I have this DB table entry list item like this. And you see list item, and all this stuff. This is still wrong, actually, because when we look at these widgets, these are widgets, not config items. We want config items. So when we look at one of these, right, we get a toggle config item. We get a entry config item. What we want is now to create boop color picker config item or, well, color config item. Okay. And then we want to add color config item on here, except we need to do color config item. And some different things here are obviously going to go in here, and it's going to be completely different of that. But there we go. We got our color config item, which inherits config item. So color config item, there we go. And then, you know, we already have that built in what this is going to be. So we can call this avatar background color value object. We don't know yet. That's not going to be used probably. It's probably going to be like red channel, blue channel. So in this case, it's actually going to be TMP text. Is it TMP text I usually use? I'm pretty sure it is, but just to verify. No. Input config item. Entry config item. There we go. TMP input field. My bad. TMP input field. This is going to be red, green input. We'll call them inputs. Just make sure it's specified well. Blue. And then we'll have hex. I'm not going to bother with HSV. I think I'm just going to go with RGB. And I'm going to, I don't know, I have sliders on other projects, but I'm not really keen on the slider thing for something like this because this is very technical and technical stuff. Like, you know, you should probably know this stuff a little better than that. But then it's going to probably want a private image. Yeah, because I usually use a blank texture for this. Color display, so you can see what color it is that you're picking. Okay, and then hello. There we go. That was some interesting goofage. Value object. Seems like something I should comment for now, just in case, because yeah, we want to do this stuff. I just leave that there as an example, I guess. Input field stuff we can get rid of. Set default on child default value, which is going to be a hex value. But we already know what the defaults are going to be. But we don't know because actually, you know, I could set the default value. So this is going to have to do a parsing of the hex value, which we'll set up in a second, and then set, you know, obviously the color channels based from that hex value. But let's leave a little note here so we remember for later. This takes in a hex value of the color, e.g. Purple, transparent purple is RG, and then I guess my favorite shade of purple, 6.6, with semi-transparency, another 6.6. Oh, we'll just do 3.3. And a RGBA hex value. And we'll store it that way specifically. Yay, making widgets. Okay, so we now need to actually set up for this. And our prefab config. Let's make sure this is labeled for prefab first. We can rename it later for to match its value, which I do by doing this and then that. this needs to be an overridden value, so we can go in and clear it off out of here, but then come out here and then make sure it's pasted in. Okay, but in here though, it should be color config item, and now we see our color config item is it's being built. Okay, so there's our prefab for it. As I said, the first thing we really need is an image, and we need a nice sized image. Probably not quite that big, maybe more like 25. The UI element of this thing probably should be, this should have an initial horizontal layout with 0, 0, 0, whatever. The height still not specified because we haven't really internalized anything to deal with that yet. And maybe I can make it bigger as like we add the values in there. I don't know if I wanted to go spread along horizontally or not. We need a label, that is for sure. So like similar, let's just put this here in as an example here so we have something to work off of. I'm going to put in well actually just go ahead and drop in the file config item. And we know this one's going to be background image if there's one selected. So there we go, we have our background image. So this is going to obviously need the same kind of thing going on for its UI layout. Is there anything special though that I have on here that allows the right-click functionality? Layer UI, rect transform. I think what I do when I right-click is it looks for config item, anything that inherits config item, and when it resets default value, it calls that function off of it. So I think we're okay with in terms of setting up for default values for a widget. Okay, so now we need the same two for layout. So this thing is just using a horizontal layout group with each child element just being layout elements. Okay. In this case, create empty caption. We want to keep the standard convention here. I got caption container then caption. So caption container and then layout element and then value container. I'm just keeping to my own conventions for the UI of this thing, which a height of probably, well, we don't know yet, honestly. And we can go into file config item here and just gink caption, I suppose. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Boop. And yeah, we'll just do the usual replace me in the caption area, and make sure that the user would know to replace that. So that means this needs to be changed, and force expansion, control child size. Height doesn't need to be controlled. Doesn't need to expand either. Yeah, we don't want to control it because we want this to be specifiable. In which case, let's start with 4040 until we figure out what the hell. Okay, it's 324, 324. Okay, what's going on with this guy? Why is it negative? And what? Yeah, that should just be that. But we're still not seeing this text appear. What's going on over here with it? So 20 is our default height normally. And yeah, this is just stretched to 0, to fit the caption container. So going back over here, we know, yep, stretch to fit the caption container, and there it is, 324, whatever. Why are we not seeing it then? Also, why are we not getting its height? See, the height here is 0, so that's a problem in itself. Nope. Hello, 4040. Why aren't you working? It clearly knows that this is 144. And it uses horizontal layout group as well. But notice, see, with height. Yeah. But we still have the wrong height there. Out here, though, it says it's actually 52. So we should actually be seeing this. Revert to default value there. Let's revert to default values. How do I... Revert. There we go. It's just a matter of it not displaying quite right in the UI. Value for... Oh, we got a lot of overridden values. Revert as well. Wait. Yeah. Oh, not. We're clicking remove component, not revert. There we go. Revert. Okay, so now that's in the right place. This height though is supposed to be 40. Okay, width. This image is sitting obviously off on its own. 25 by 25. Okay, what happened here now though? Why is it... Oh, it just didn't update right away. But why is it sitting off in its own little la la land there? It's kind of odd. It's obviously very strange. Huh. Not quite sure to deal with that. Could be, again, like I said, it's probably something out in the wild here where it's, doing things where it wasn't. Okay, now it's doing something even weirder. Oh, I see, because the pivot might be because it's coming from there. The pivot's coming from a different place where the image is resting. That still doesn't make sense. Okay, that song was pretty dumb. Enable custom hotkeys. There we go. Okay. Pretty dumb isn't dumb of me to let play. But yeah, not that it was a dumb song. Yeah, the pivot is 0.5.5 and it says to start from the top left, so it's kind of going where it's told to. But we have items here that are gonna get in the way of things. Let's see. This value, this container, this thing here has its own type, like stuff in the input field that I want to copy in this case for this. Make sure that, okay. We're going to want that particular type of input field in this. But we also have now a problem of getting these different. Yeah. I think I know how I want to do this. This is going to get interesting because now that changes this display element into a vertical layout group. And caption here becomes, well, the caption, but then at 20. And then, of course, this is red, green, blue, hex. I'm going to do something I have not done before with these widgets. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that blank in that little particular field, but I'm going to create a binding here. I'm going to have actually... Oops, why are these private? These should actually be public. Shh. But we're going to put a public string caption on here. And then on start, we're actually going to have, oh, and then of course, public TMP, no, TMP text, yeah, actually, caption display, caption string, and then caption. Okay, and we're going to have actually on start caption dot text equals caption string. Only so you don't have to fish into that shit and try to find the caption and accidentally like mess up the other ones. So in this case, yeah, well, we can leave that alone, but we know that we can set in here config item. Okay, but yeah. Background color. So now when it goes into play mode, it'll put in for that caption area background color. I guess for something just visual placeholder, we can put in like, yeah, replace me instead. Or automatic. Just automatic. That'll give the hint to people that that's what that is. And yeah, what is the deal with this displaying however the heck it wants? Like constantly setting overridden values. So now from that though, we know caption red, green, blue, hex, right? Now we have like our fields. We know this is going to be 20, 20, so 2, 4, 6, 8. This is going to be 100 pixels tall in total. So let's go ahead and save that. And this is no spacing, of course, the usual of that. We don't want to expand. We know the grand total is 102. We're going to file config item. Yeah, it's not something that's manipulated there either. So this has a height of 100 as we see. So now why are we seeing it? Because width is 0. This shouldn't be a width of 0. We have a case of that happening. Okay. So now each one of these are, okay, they're appropriate widths. But now why is it off kilter, off center? Yeah, it doesn't really matter either since it's 100 and we know there's 5 elements. I guess, yeah. It does cause a little bump in there. But let's go ahead and fill that in. And we also know that one now too. We should know this one, but it's a little wonky at the moment there. 25. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's RGB and hex. Red value. Green value. Color. Blue value. And hex value. Okay, this value container, vertically align. Okay, now it makes more sense. Let's put some spacing in there of about 10. What's going on in file config item when it comes to spacing? We got 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and all the way around 10. So it should be all 10s. And these guys, well, those are originally layout elements, so they didn't really have any particular control to that. And the input field just sat in the container. This color sample we know is going to be about 20 height. And yeah, all of these are basically 20 height. So that might be why we're getting some funky behavior. There we go, now it all aligns, but now we have that problem of the placeholder bit in there being a little crammed off. The overall height of a line normally, like file container here, is 44. Okay, let's not use file config item actually for this example. Use something a little more simpler. Entry config item, perfect. There we go. Okay, yeah, see, even that's a bit wide or taller. But yeah, look at that background image. There's something else that I didn't do there that these little images have. And it's that, yeah, value container image. And you see this background image. I'm not carrying that background image over, so I'm going to steal this value container. And I'm going to actually maybe what I really want to do is steal the image and place it in the value container with a layout element that has ignore layout, and it purposely fills that background. But it doesn't appear. Also, I forgot to set that to its appropriate thing. Yeah, this image should be behind things right now on this and that little UI. And actually, these do need to be, I think, 25 each. Which that is 50, 100, 125. And that would also mean these are all 25. And same deal, 125. And this, what we discovered actually was supposed to be 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And now we have a problem of this image not appearing. We have ignore layout, but whoop. Okay, yeah, you can see it here in the UI where it's appearing. Color sample. Yeah, you see in the UI display here, it appears exactly and perfectly where it's supposed to. So does placeholder and all this other stuff. So what we probably have a problem of is overrides that need to die. So modify component revert. I don't know. Maybe we can do that for. No, don't do that. Okay, you can't overall do it, but we can probably do that from here. Overrides, yeah, revert. Make sure all of these follow the prefabs. Hey, there we go. Now it's displaying right. Get this all reset to the prefab, except that. Oh, I hate how that just decides to do stupid stuff like that sometimes. But now, oh wait, no, never mind. We're looking at weird, okay, widget or whatever gizmos appearing over things. Yeah, there we go. Now we have this nice look to it. But what happened here with background? Suddenly, our title decided to creep off to somewhere unknown. So if we look at this, normally it's, what maniac way did I do this? We see 20.8. User input here normally is just width and height control. User input here, width and height control. Title here has 20.28. Yeah. is a body input that has a vertical layout group. Same deal, same options. And title 20.28, but this thing does not. This thing just drops. Why is this one the correct size, or this one is not? There is no physical difference between the two. Let's toggle it. Nope. Toggle it in general. Yeah, nope. There is a subsection that's here that's a vertical layout group of its own. Where this avatars tab. Yeah, that would be this options. Options would be the same as Converse here. Okay, so Converse has all four selected. All right, and so there's that. This shouldn't have a height like that though. Force expand. Nope. Height. There we go. Oh, there we go. There's why. Okay. I thought something looked a little funky there. I don't know why this is getting pushed so far to the right where this isn't though. It's a little strange. And oh, you know what? We need to bring back that file selector because that's actually a required element here. But yeah, why are we getting now? If you look at this, pushed over so far where these aren't as far. So the first thing that happens here though is a horizontal layout with that, and that. And each one of the child elements are just rect transforms. Interesting. In avatar background here we have their vertical layout groups, and that rect transforms. Ooh, these both force child expansion of the height. Interesting. Well, I guess when in Rome. But I'm still confused about why this element and this element are two different sizes. Well, actually, they're not. No, wait, they aren't uniform. They're actually not uniform at all. That's very peculiar. They should be uniform. I mean, something below it here is requesting more width than it should be. If I disable... yeah, something is... It's... Huh. What's happening here is this body is not... It is expanding the width. It's expanding the width of child elements, and this child element is also expanding the width. Huh. I think what we need to do is something even more dumb. This is the caption container, and this is the captions. And yeah, that needs to. Just a second here, I guess, because then we have the same deal. Value container, and then values. And everything disappears. Whee! Isn't that great? I love Unity. And it's probably because something out here, again, with overrides. Yeah, let's make sure all these reflect to defaults, not overridden in any way in the UI. And there we go, we're starting to see things. But now we have problems. Why is that text getting pushed all the way over there? Why is it... Why is this one a regular transform? Hello? Rec transform. Hello, hello. Why were you all wonky? Okay, so by default, you two should be equal 309. Okay, there it is. And so now, again, if we have overrides, we need to clear those. Whee! Which did nothing. So we got 2 overrides, which are also the wrong height. There we go. That makes us an overall 120? Question mark? What? What? That ain't right. It clearly says 125 and 125, and this says 120. Now it's all kind of doing fuck ever at once. And even weirder, this just says 20. Uh-huh. We got more override issues, except there's not override issues. Okay. All right, so we still have some odd problems here. I wonder if this is because of Unity 6, because like there's minor glitches that were happening in the UI, and there's silly things like this. But I hope not, and I'm not just like battling a UI problem. Oh, my brain is like wanting to know what the heck game this is. Oh, Donkey Kong Country, of course. Ah, how did I not realize? Yeah, those are all Hive 25. Grand total 125. You know, okay. And its width is, you know, hard specified here, even though it should be automatic, but, you know, whatever, we can do this. Oh, okay, that kind of fixed it for no reason whatsoever. Okay, there we go, whatever. I feel kind of derp now from that, but yeah, there, now it's perfectly aligned and in its place and looking exactly as we want it. Now we need a functionality for it. We can get rid of this entry config item. We don't need that anymore. This thing, we can change it to what it's supposed to be, and it's background image. There you go. Okay, so now the functionality. First thing is we want to change. Oh boy, this is where things are going to get very interesting because in these input values, the on change, we're going to need, let's see, on, select on, deselect, on end edit. Yeah, we want on end edit in this particular case. And we want to say private. Oh yeah, there it is, actually, value changed. We do not want this to have any of this, actually. And we want to commit value in a different way. What is commit value happens on something specific? It's, yeah, config item. Yeah, this is where it takes it and actually sets it into the database. We do want it to update in the database every time it changes, but what we need is the hex value. So string hex value equals, and for now we'll do that, and then this would go into hex value. So set, also same deal. What is calling set though? Is set ever called here? We do have set config item. So this is actually a string value that comes in, and then we'll call this hex value. But in commit value, I don't know why we have that. Set config item is null or empty. Commit value, set and save. Oh, this is the wrong set. So set. Okay, I don't see anything that necessarily calls set in this particular regard. I think it's for external. I should have marked that for something. Let's look at the file config item because it's, you have the file entry config item. It's the easiest to take a look at for this, and we say find all references. Okay, entry config item. And it takes in a string value and it commits the value. And it doesn't really say. I don't see anything that ever actually calls it though. But this is the problem with abstracted content, is that you don't know it's calling it. So let's look at dot set as a method. It's always, yeah, just config calling it. But this does look like that it's looking at configure input field. I guess, yeah, loading the input field from its objects. If it doesn't exist, return input field. And okay, so I mean, what we want is we want red input. if red input equals null, return. Let's do the usual checks. Actually, we can set up a better method for this, and it's public void malformed or bool, private bool. Is malformed, and then we can say if red input equals null, return true. Obviously, if it's not malformed, we return false. And here we can say if is malformed, and we just return because we have a malformed input. So red input, green input. For some reason, if you somehow screw it up, this is just checks for it. But I mean, this is my own code. I don't see myself ever fucking that up. But just for the sake of edge case, and having a way of sanity checking, let's just make sure that never gets malformed input. So yeah, if it is malformed, just return. Don't even try to set the hex value because that means it hasn't been set up and configured yet. So it's, meant to be an external call. So now we convert hex to, oh wait, there's a missing component here. Did I ever? Yeah, alpha input. Also, and there we go. So convert hex to RGBA in here. I'll just do my usual LFM coding habit or to-do coding habit to make sure I come back to that later. And then commit value, hex value. This is, an external setter, so there we go. Update value, what usually happens on an update value, I check. Okay. I check whether or not there is an actual config value, apparently. String value, config item. Okay. I mean, sure, that makes sense to do here. If somehow I accidentally left a config value out, string value equals config get, and then set the field. So actually this becomes string value or hex value equals config dot get config item, and can, same deal. Except, yeah, so what is calling when, say file image capture change or whatever, right? When I change input field, actually, I guess it's the, oh, this is actually really difficult. Yeah, the input field does have a changer on it though, but it actually doesn't call anything that it should be calling. What about entry config item? That one has a call on it to nothing as well, because okay, I configured that one both externally. That add listener value changed. So value changed, string value. This is on user invoked change. So that should actually happen on any of these. And I'm going to set it up this way. Maybe, I don't know why I did it the other way on the others. Maybe I was trying to make it streamlined in some way, but I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that they Is it really on value changed? That seems like it should be on and edit. Yeah. On and edit. Color config item. Not dynamic. We do want to call the Oh, yeah, well, that's why. But yeah, why is it okay? Value changed here. Is a private. That's why it's set up that way, so it doesn't get called externally the wrong way. So I guess we leave those alone, and actually what we do then is red input dot on and edit dot add listener value changed, and it's already bitching. There's gotta be a string. What are you doing? There's gotta be a string. Whatever. It's just gonna get thrown away. Okay, so red, green, blue, alpha, hex. They're all gonna call the same method. It doesn't really matter. It's all gonna operate the same thing when it gets a change. Okay, so update value. And we convert that to hex and whatever. Okay. What is the configure input field? That's the stuff that we just added anyways. Ba-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Yeah, it's private here, but I'm using publics here because I don't know. Okay, and then the caption gets set and go. Well, actually, we can probably set that a little sooner than later, just to make sure it does get set. And we can change that. All right, so that's all that. Actually, now we need logic to convert. Yeah, this is fun. So what we need here then is private void set RGBA from a string hex value. Since we know that has to be done there. And then of course this one is pretty simple, where the hex input dot value or text just gets that hex value. Actually, in that hex value, for the color inputs here, we can specify constraints, where this one is integer number. All three of these are integer numbers. Where's the alpha? Alpha. That would then make this 150. And actually, then we get these red, green, blue, alpha, and hex. But yeah, all these red, green, blue alphas, we can set the constraint of integer number. Okay. This one's string. Well, okay, yeah, that's alphanumeric. That sounds about right. Alphanumeric only. There's no real thing to filter it down. But now we need to strip RGBA, so we do need a filter for correctness, but I don't know if we want to put any validation in the hex number. If you fuck it up, you fuck it up, I guess. It just returns 0 from the parser when we go to actually insert it. So, with that said, let's yeah, we'll start from that. We can. We'll start with no. Let's If hex value dot length equals 8, because it's gonna have to be 8 characters long. So if it does not equal 8, we return. We just don't want to mess with it. We can cap that intentionally at 8. I thought maybe we could actually character limit right here. My bad. Hex value character limit of 8. And of course, RGBA, the character limit for that should be 3 because the max is 255. So if it does not equal 8, though, we just still throw it away. So we're automatically filtering it down to 8. And yeah, okay. Yeah, in that case, it's just a stepping ritual. Like for int I equals 0, I is less than 4, I plus plus, and then we check every 2. Although that's just kind of weird because, I mean, in this case, yeah, we want substring hex value dot substring 0 of 2 characters dot. And we can say, what? Oh shit, I forget how to convert. Okay, C#, convert hexadecimal to int. And the simplest form, it's... Actually, yeah, there is an int.tryparse. Out. In this case, we can use the. Yeah, this is red input, isn't it? Dot. This is interesting because we have a whole transaction thing that has to happen here. So we have to do int.tryparse if, of course, yeah, this is weird, isn't it? Because of the... Okay, so let's start with int red. Yeah, red here is fine. Equals 0. We don't know what red is. So int tryparse, we're going to do red input dot value hello dot text, I'm sorry, and then of course out red. Wait, actually we don't even need to do an if. We're just going to do it, and if it fails, it fails. Red stays 0, and in this case again we try to do red, and then from here we say red input dot text equals red dot toString. Now why does this one balk? What is going on here? Try parse. Number styles. Oh, but then because of this, it also wants a format provider. System dot format. What is a format provider? System.iFormat provider. There's no defaults probably. Yeah, this is... We need to know what to do with this thing in order for it to work. Let's look up the manual for try parse. Oh, this is something not... Oh, wait, I've done this already before. I don't know why I didn't have... Because I have a try parse already for ints. It's an overridden method. Yeah, see, this just takes in... Hey, where'd it go? Yeah, they're right here. I mean, duh. But yeah, that one in particular takes just now red. The config system, though, should have get int, right? Yeah, it's just a try parse. Oh, utils that try parse. Oh, it's different. Why in God's name did I do that differently? There was a reason I had to do this. Oh, there's why I had to do it, though. It would break on garbage. I didn't want it to break on garbage, so I wrote my own. That makes sense. Utils that try parse int. When you forget you wrote something like this. Okay, but now the problem is hex values. Because I've done this, I now need to, yeah, I need to use a hex, write a hex version. Try parse, I don't know. Let's call it actually try parse hex. Or hex to int. Try hex to int instead. Do I already have something for this though? Hex? No. So obviously, like, if the input here dot length does not equal 2, we just return. Return true if we get through to the end. Why is it bitching though? Oh, because output didn't get assigned. I don't know. Output equals output, man. Int result equals output. Assign. Interesting. You see, I don't want it to return 0. But I guess it has to return 0 if there was nothing done. But it always wants an output value? I'd want it to do nothing. Oh, you can. It's just, wait, no, it's still being dumb. You know what? Fuck it. I'd rather have a rough value than have it fuck up and break the value. This is going to change everything, though, if I do that, too. Jesus. Yeah, I'll leave that as a rough value then. I don't care. Utils and try hex int red. Oops, sorry. This is then this. And ref red. And then that. There we go. We have another issue here, though, because value changed here is going to be different than private void hex value changed. And this, we can just say, yeah, we can actually set the interesting. Set. Okay, this is setting the RGBA from a hex value. Yeah, so this should be set RGBA. Well, value is fine there because I mean it's going to be the hex value that gets changed there, and of course commit the value hex value. There we go. Oh, value. My bad. And that actually does this. That's pretty simple right there, isn't it? But that's only if the hex input is changed. We want to work the opposite way around on a value change. So now we need a, I don't know, set hex value. And then, of course, we'll have it return hex value. And let's define that also right after it as private void set hex value. So this will build hex value from RGBA. Okay, so that sets... Oh, and this is supposed to be a string. For now, we'll just say, I don't know, string output equals the current, actually. So hex input dot text. And then, yeah, just return output from there for now. And this should probably be, just so we know, channel value changed, just to be a little more explicit on what's happening here. Alright, so update value here though, when something is passed in, it's going to be passed in by hex value, right? Or what is this? Convert hex to RGBA. So that would be the set RGBA. Set RGBA hex value. And then of course, this thing would want its hex input also written to hex value. Alright, so we're setting it. Okay, now we're over here. Okay, yep, set hex value now. Oh, I should check. I stayed Alt-Tab too long from this. Okay, no one said anything. Huh? Code, ridiculous code. This is just silly. It's so exciting seeing a color picker though. This is probably taking longer than I really wanted it to. It's not as... We had some cool stuff tonight, but this is, you know, kind of boring, I understand. But yeah, so set hex value, alpha x input text, blah blah blah, whatever. Right, now we're still on red here and trying to set red. Okay, we got red, green, blue, alpha. So green. Oh, I never wrote this thing though. Try hex to int. So, okay, if input does not equal that, then we return false. We don't want the result to do that. We do just want mess and manipulate only output. Don't change it if nothing could be done. So this should actually be value in this particular case because it's not the output. The potential output we'll put here as 0. So if we're going to look, of course, first input 0. So yeah, now we need to check 0 through 9 and then A through F for the value. Calc. Not calc, sorry. We want a table of orders, ASCII table. So we'll get a good old ASCII table. Let's see. Wikipedia should have one that isn't all stupid. Okay, so here we go. Our Wikipedia ASCII table. This tells us, you know, each decimal or hexadecimal and character that follows, and its ordinal value. So, first thing that needs to happen is the input should actually get translated immediately to input.toUpper. we don't want to mess with the, a lower cases here. And that actually, in any particular case where we have this, we should actually cast it to upper. Whenever hex value is getting written, we should just force it to upper. And that includes string hex value here should be to upper. Actually, it might make some more sense here to do it like that. Set hex value obviously is going to do it anyways here. Yeah, hex value change, we're going to get it. Value, we might as well just actually set it here immediately. Value equals value dot to upper. Then we don't actually have to worry about it here. It's just going to expect uppercase letters. We'll even leave a note here. Always expects 0 through 9, A through F, uppercase only. We can write it in, their regex expression format. I don't know, I'm fixing those right now, but I'm also might as well get this code all situated in the way it's supposed to be. Because this is going to be like now what, from 0, from 2, from 4, from 6, okay? And blue, alpha, same deal, alpha, and just get that all set up. And there we go. That sets all the RGBAs from a hexadecimal string. Let's just check where this is getting called from. Value to upper. This gets forced there. Then same here. We should probably make sure hex value equals hex value dot to upper. Force the user to force that up to uppercase. Don't trust user input. Very important security paradigm. We can do the same here, I suppose, but I doubt it would ever get changed in the database, but users can change stuff in the database, so Okay, so that's that, finally. Okay, now getting back and focusing specifically on this try hexet to int. Output equals 0, input 0. If input 0 is... Well, we can actually make a sub-method for this. Private static get hex from, well, in this case, char to hex, and then char, I don't know, A, C, and this actually would be an int return. So char to hex would be like, okay, if C is less than, in this case, 48. This gets interesting. Or C is greater than 57. Actually, what we should do here, just to make it simpler, is if C is greater than 47. So if it's 48 or higher, and C is less than 58, return C minus 48. And I think this actually should still, in the same deal, be reference int output. And this should be bool. And then in this case, well, actually, we can actually set this to an out. And then output equals C minus 48. Return true. If all else fails, output equals 0, return false. So that's, one single character, make it easy. If C is then greater than 40, and C is less than F, or G in this case, 47, output equals C minus, and that would be, because this gets interesting. Minus 41 would make it 0 if it was 41, which is A. Which I'm also looking at the wrong number. That would be 65, actually. I'm a dumbass. So greater than 64 and less than 71. Okay, so if you would minus 65, but it wouldn't be 65, it would be add 10, so 55. So if it was 65, A will equal 10. So A is 65. 65 minus 55 is 10. We want A to be 10. Else, it's fucking wrong. Okay, but, so 47, we have 47, so 48. It should be C minus 48. 0 is 0. And it's 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 0 will be nice and 0. 57 will be obviously 9. There we go. Okay. That fixes, that does char to hex. So now we can do char to hex. If not char to hex, input 0, and then int, I guess I in this case equals 0, I. Out. This just returns false because it failed. Did I say we need an output value? I did. So output value equals 0. In this case, output will now equal I times 16 because we want to step it. That's the first order. So now it becomes if input 1 and I. Then we do output plus equals I, and we return. We set value then to output and return true if it made it this far. So that would mean FF should come into being, our value. I'm not going to write a unit test for this because basically that UI element is going to be the unit test. We're going to see immediately if something's wrong with this code and be able to actively test it. So we don't really have to build a unit test around this one. But yeah, okay. Now let's try int hex to int. So we have our try hexes in, try to hex in. We get our 2 strings in, and there we go. That's all nice and built. Now we have the other way around, where we have to now convert ints to hex. Fun. This is actually something where we can trust C# to do correctly without having any broken behavior to it. So we can just literally look up C# int to hex. And then we just say the int value red input. This is interesting in itself because now we're going to have like... well, first we have to clamp this. That's a thing in itself. So we're going to do red input because this red input dot. Okay, now yeah, same deal. I don't even know why I'm thinking about this too hard. We just take the same little piece here, but then where we separate and change is now we become if red is less than 0, red equals 0. Well, and this this is where things get a little interesting, I guess, because we want to write it back if it's less than or greater than. So let's do red equals 0, and then red input dot text equals red dot toString, and red equals greater than 255. We can probably write a helper method because you see how there's a lot of repeated bullshit here that just gets kind of ugly having it all like copy pasted code. I could, and this is just going to get worse with it, honestly. I could just have it do an abstracted way of setting this. So we can say private channel to hex. In this case, string output. And of course, yeah, we're going to want, because we're going to be repeating a lot of code if we don't do this. We can do string output equals that, of course. And in this case, we want that thing, TMP input field. Channel input, and yeah, I think that's about all we need right there, actually. And then we say int value equals 0, and then we can just literally copy this from here now. There we go. Now we're doing the channel input instead of red input here. And then we have value instead of red. So value. Okay, so if it's greater than 255, we set value equals 255. Right. Okay, let's do this. And then of course we can do that. And then okay, we got value. Okay, we got string. Now, how do we get this to hex? Well, yeah, okay. We defaulted it if it's outside of the constraint. Forced it, and then now we need to actually convert it to our output. So we can put that up there and return output here. In this case, output equals our value actually, and then to string format of x. Let's double check the formats though, just in case. C# to string format. Where, okay, big X, what is big X specifically? Hexadecimal. If big X, okay, it's always going to do, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do this. That specifies that it's supposed to be exactly 2 characters, so it'd be 0f if it's only 9. Doesn't hurt to be safe in this case. And so now now that we got that, we can get the ordinals, and we can say output plus equals channel to hex, and then we just say red input at that rate, and then we just there we go. Green, blue, and alpha. And where do we do set hex value? Okay, so on value change string hex value and then a commit value. I could, yeah, why not? Just have it here, hex value text equals then hex value. The uppercase X though means that it's going to be like that. We'll even say 00 to FF. Always 2 characters. And I think that should do it. There's only one way to find out at this point. Cross our fingers and hope that it works. There's one thing that we haven't done here though, which we can do that in a second, but just let's make sure the actual the main functionality of that thing there works. It's probably gonna blow up since the default value is literally nothing. So this will be
Good
quite
morning.
interesting.
I am ready to talk with you.
So now if we go, yeah, let's go ahead and make that big. I thought I set that to default that way, but but it didn't because when you hit play, it sets it. Yeah. So dun dun dun. That's not good. No, is it? Those input values didn't have anything in them, though. That's what's kind of concerning. They should have been 0. So, because when we get, well, first of all, let's fix this. We know output is okay. Already that. Yeah, this doesn't need to be. Yeah, that doesn't need to do that. That should be that.
Good morning. I am
Okay.
ready to talk with you.
Initial value 128. Okay, this is weird because there it goes. Never mind. Oh, and now it's all zeros. 128 though. Why can't I see? I can't input a value here. Why is it constraining it? Let's force it, see what happens. See, now it's actually set to 128, but it's still, oh, because the actual value isn't set in the, I know it is, yeah, okay. We're always getting 0 in there. What happens if I then set, this is also pretty odd. It won't let me edit this. It's like the fields are marked read only. Oh, that's a first problem. That is something that shouldn't be happening. 484 it's happening off of Chat Manager 547. Okay, Chat Manager 547. Add conversation item line. It happens at 484 though. So 484, add conversation item. Okay, that's really weird. And regular buffer. If buffer equals null, return. I don't think line can ever be returned. Yeah, that's a struct. Oh, it is a struct. So no, it can't. Can't be null. It's not allowed to be null. So something else would end up being null. And in this case, if line equals null, return. Actually should be string that is null or empty. Boom, there we go. Honestly, we don't even need to do it there. We can do that there too. Then need a lock if it's not even going to do anything. No, anyways, what is, yeah, so why are we getting locked values? These are clear, these are on edit strings that are here when they shouldn't be. Things left behind, oops. Okay, yeah. Okay, but still, inputs read only. Yeah, they are marked read only. So that's kind of a big problem.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
128, there we go. And what we get is 80. Nice. So now if we set, obviously, blue 255 on that, we get FF If we say 999, we get 255 because of, why the hell would it be? If I say negative 10, we get womp womp. We get womp womp because that is not correct. Try parse int. What do we get? We see the try parse int here doesn't support negative. It drops it. This is fun, because now I don't know exactly what to do with this, and I don't think anything that uses this really goes into considering a negative value. Basically, at this point, result can accept neg equals false is what needs to happen here. So we have bool can accept neg equals true, because we want to start with it capable of. So now then, if input I equals negative, alright, then we know that if it's the first thing, can accept neg. Why did that happen? Then we know to tell it to treat it as a negative number. So is neg equals true. So now bool is neg equals false. And so now if is neg, and we don't need to do all this, we can actually have it as else. But we do output equals negative result. And so yeah, that just becomes is neg. And then if it gets an actual number at this point, so which that's what that's doing, we can no longer accept a negative number, because 0 dash something is not a negative thing, but negative dash something is negative notation. Let's see if that works. It'd be so much better if I could actually write that in what you call it, assembly. Uh-oh, what happened here? Oh, sheesh! I blew some shit up. We are definitely experiencing some hard issues. Hopefully I can get this to recover from this. Hey, Pumpkin, what's going on? I'm dying. I probably shouldn't do that. Okay, let's see what the culprit is. Ah! Unity seems to be the main culprit, taking up 27 gigs somehow right now. Maybe best to kill off Unity at the moment.
Meow, don't worry Scald, I've got the chat calm for now.
Okay, well, it's definitely a case of Unity just crapped itself just now. And is also taking a ton of GPU memory out of nowhere too. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Look at that, everything just like immediately responded faster. What's GPU memory doing overall? Looks like something is still taking up a good large chunk. Maybe I do need to put my 3090 back in this thing. Oh, well, it doesn't help to have two different instances of Unity open. That's pretty cursed in itself. But that doesn't seem to have dented it much. GPU memory, it looks like Warudo is actually using up an insane amount at current. Right. Discord also seems to be using an insane amount of resources for no reason. I'm gonna go ahead and kill that off for a sec. Wonder why that's chewing up so much GPU. That doesn't make any sense. Alright, gave that a good restart. There we go. Alright, and now we're looking at what? Chewing up so much memory. What the fuck? Well, OBS is obviously for streaming. Warudo takes a lot of memory for some reason though. What is up with that? What? Could restart that just to see if that has any effect at fixing things. There we go. Making sure it's not killing off my computer. Hey, I'm back. Hi. Meow. Okay, there we go. I don't know. It seems fine now. But yeah, definitely was having some problems with memory. Most likely with running, starting, stopping ICOM too much. That probably didn't help with two different versions of Unity either. Plus, this is Unity 6. It probably had a hinge, something hinged or hitched. Okay, so blah and I don't know. We look all good. Hey, Pumpkin, everything look all good?
Meow.
Meow. Hey, Pumpkin, can't you say anything more than meow?
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you. You're amazing.
No.
Don't be confused. I'm positive we can squash these bugs.
Can you? Do it. Hey, Pumpkin, I dare you to do it. Okay, so now we have this back. So if I set -10, now it should not allow it. It seems to be allowing it, which is a little strange. I reverted it back to 10 again. Okay, we got some interesting things happening there. So the negative code check that I did doesn't seem to have taken. Just as a sanity check, let's have this. Actually print out, and excuse me, holy cow, the inputs and outputs of this so we can see what it did. It's gonna print a ton of crap when I hit play. Whee! Oh wow, we are past time. I got so wrapped up in this that I totally just got
Good
lost
morning.
into.
I am
coding
ready
this
to
thing.
talk with you.
Okay, so we got a bunch of values of whatever here, but we want to specifically look at this one. Let's wrap this up though by finishing this little bit and calling it an evening, I guess. So yeah, we got -10 and 10, so it didn't actually do what it was supposed to here. Isneg, okay, should have came up, and it should have been kind of subneg. Should have been true and able to. The question becomes: did it ever actually do this? The first step, I guess, we can find of checking this is to split this into two parts. I hate, doing all this extra code, but you just got to do it. And then we do, of course, Unity engine debug.log. Got negative. And then we can do that check. But we can also add, just for the sake of, we could also just do this. This is a case where why am I doing all this shit when it would be easier, actually, in this case, to just use the fucking debugger. So let's put that breakpoint in. Of course, do this. Attach to Unity. There we go. We're nice and attached. Enable debugging for all projects, of course. Okay, so there we go. And now let's put -10 in there, and then that. And it didn't even break. Okay, let's stop it because yeah, we changed code. That's why the breakpoint needs to compile in before we can. Let's disconnect this though too. Okay, now we connect it while it's in a pause state, and then now we play. We're gonna get this probably throwing every 2 seconds, or not. Well, it hasn't actually done anything. Or it has. There we go. Let's step over. Yeah, let it get through those breakpoints. Looks like it's got some more. Yep, it does. There we go. It's taking a hot second to do its thing. Is it on a breakpoint or what is it doing now? I don't see it, okay, running. It says it's running. Nothing's... Shouldn't be sleeping. Let's just disconnect then and let it do its thing.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
Okay, let's have this thing then also reattach. And hopefully it will see to... Okay, there we go. Alright, so what we have here then is we know, okay, it's currently set to false, but what if we continue? No, we want to step into? Okay, so we get can accept negative is true. So what we have here in string is not the value we're looking for. So let's continue into the next one until we have the value we're looking for. This is 0. This is 0. Okay, negative 10. There we go. So we know this is set to true. Stepping. Okay, we're at input still 10. Damn it. And I cock it up by hitting. Okay, let's disconnect. I don't know, let's set that to 0 for now. Say, and then reattach. Okay. Then it decides to immediately lock on something trying to run. Okay. Let's set this to negative 10. And now it should lock in a place where we want. Input's 128, 0, 0. There's our negative 10. Step. What happened is this. Well, that was a quick and easy find.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
Alright, so now we can come back to here, and if I say negative 10 on that, then it, like, okay, it reverts to 0. It's like, no, fuck you, it's that's a negative number, okay, and it's outputting the right thing, too. So we could take out that even, too. Alright, so, yeah, perfect, okay. Now, if I say FF here, what happens to this? That becomes 255, and let's say if I make this all 6s, what do we get? We get 102s. Okay, and then if I say 104, we get, okay, that. Okay, but now what if I just put some half-ass shit in there? What happens? It reverts the value because it's just wrong. But now, I need to clear that value because it's stored in the database. We need to see its initial behavior. So this is actually where we have SQLite Studio, which is currently not installed. Currently not appearing in this film. SQLite. I want to finish this task, so let's at least like get that much of it working for the night, and then I'll call it a night. Like I just want to make sure that the default value thing is taken care of, and then off screen time, of course, I'll set up the color, like actual display color, and yeah, all the usual stuff. And hopefully by next string, we'll see it working and doing beautifully. Okay, add database, there we go. And then we know it's going to be percent local app data low, right, Studio Jaw, icon, and in there, open that baby up, get that bad boy open, get to that config section. Let's look at that data. What we got is we need that. Dang. It's going to be the bottom one anyways. Avatar background color. Let's just trash that one out. Get that out of there. We don't need a value in there. Boop. Right. Okay. So apply, refresh, whatever. Close this. We can start this up.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
Default value is just blanks, which is not what it should be doing. We need to set those default values. And if string is empty or not valid or 0, it needs to return 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So let's do that. When it loads, right, we get the initial load. Oops, we're looking at Chat Manager. Color config item. That initial load is on enable update value. Get the config item upper. Okay. Set RGBA. If it's not length of 8, then return. It just throws it away. But if we know the string is null or empty, so therefore wrong, we shouldn't have any values. Then it becomes a default value. If it gets stored the wrong way in the wrong format, what should happen? And that's a good question to think about here. If we should somehow get a malformed value, I think it should zero pad. I think if you fuck up the value and you store it that way somehow, it should zero pad. But would that be annoying? It could revert, or I could set the default value to zeros. So if I never made more use of this. Because that should happen like on these. So in this particular case, I think if you put in the wrong value or an invalid value, on hex value change. Config.get. Yeah. If value does not equal, or dot length does not equal 8, I think it should revert it. Like you put it in wrong. Let's re-get that value. So we want to get the key. It's gonna be config item, right? String, yeah. So config.get the config item. We're gonna revert the value to what was last previously stored. Actually, would make the more sense. And if it still doesn't equal 8, we'll set it to all zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, so 4, 6, 8. There, so if you specify a default value, it'll set a default value, but if it's not a specified default value, and you get an incorrect length string, then you get that. But we also have a problem because what could be stored here is value could be null. Empty is one thing, but null is another thing. So if we do get value though and it fails, what happens? Get value is null or empty, then throw null exception. That's okay. That. But if contains key, okay. But output equals empty. If string is null or empty output, then it sets okay. It'll make it empty if it's not null or empty. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be an empty string regardless. So now when I start this up, it should be all zeros and everything should be zeroed. Right, wrong, because what happens here is it immediately goes to update value, right? But that doesn't happen here.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you. Good morning.
And there we
I am
go.
ready to talk with
All
you.
zeros. But now let's store that default value somewhere. This thing is... Well, the main camera already has a hex value that we want to follow, which is this. So there's our default value. Config, and I don't like that color, but you know, I like that makes me want to change it. So yeah, there you go. So the hex value config. Okay, so we have our defaults here, and let's go ahead and do we have a section for avatar stuff specifically? It looks like that is a negative. So we'll do avatar defaults, not add. Okay, and we need like the other bit here. So 2, 4, 6. What's missing here? What's missing here is the alpha channel. That didn't get carried into there, and it doesn't carry into that, ironically. So let's go ahead and set that alpha channel what it is, which is just 0. And now what we have is that is our name for it. What the hell is its name? Ah! Meh. Avatars, okay. Ah! Not avatar list. Options. Body, avatar background, color. This should be avatar background image. But yeah, the color, there we go. You take that. And did I actually store that in there? No, I didn't. So let's put that in there as well. Okay, so color though, we put there. And just for the sake of having that one also in here too to get it out of the way. We can then yank that one and just put that in there, and it's going to be defaulted none. Okay, avatar background color, and then we have background color. Okay, so if we hit play, what do we get? We should see the default color being the same as what the camera is currently set to, the default that I have already preordained, and it should be obnoxious enough like that that you'd want to change it.
Good morning. I am ready to talk with you.
Which looks good. It said it. Oh, we still have that problem there that's saying blue instead of alpha. So to wrap things up here for the night, let's go ahead and change that to alpha. But this is a good spot to end it, and something to bring up and point out before I close off and call it a night. There is a general issue I feel with a lot of programmers that I see that are new still, maybe ones that haven't really gotten themselves established yet. Let me get a drink first. I'm out of water. Okay, but anyway, so there seems to be a fear of doing this kind of thing. What I just did, this whole building a color picker and creating a widget. There's like this fear that if it doesn't, the engine doesn't already have something like that, they steer away from actually building out the widget, the UI element that you would need. And it's like, bruh, just do it. It's not that hard. As you just saw, I just, went through the whole process of creating a color widget. It takes a little bit of time. Like, obviously, that took up our whole stream time. Maybe about 2-3 hours worth just to build that color widget. But it's something that once you've got done, and it's been abstracted this way, now I can use this thing anywhere in my application. I haven't done it yet because I haven't had one or need for one yet. In this application in specific, but don't be afraid to build widgets like this, GUI widgets and stuff, and it'll save you time and sanity later. And plus, it helps you build out a better, more structured UI and whatnot like this. And don't be afraid to also extend things that Unity has, because a lot of my UI, like this little silly config item in itself, right? This already extends a centralized config item. This is the abstracted class that it's coming from. This does all the automatic database connecting and tying into things for the database. So that's why you didn't see me write anything for storing this CRUD into the database, because it's already written for me. It's in this base class that handles all that stuff for me and writes it into the config for my database and pulls it in and out and manages it. So I don't have to worry about it or think about it, you know. But you see that it's also using like a context item. It's based off of mono behavior, but I'm also using certain Unity, functions and whatnot too. Like I'm building an input field, but an input field with its own label and things like that. In this case, it's color pickers and a series of input fields, a little color display and whatnot. That's the overall widget. But there has been cases even where in the past of this project, I've had to tear apart, the Unity default stuff, and namely that widget. But let's look specifically at something real quick before we close. So with VRC AI here, like this little structure of thing, I have a bunch of like, things in here for that. All the code for that's not native to. This is basically AI comms code, main code base area. But okay, UI. I have an UI here. I have widgets up the wazoo. The tab button, for example, this one gets interesting because you'll notice what it is. It's its own button. I rewrote the button, building it out from the other abstracted classes that the Unity button, UI button, is based on. And when you see a tab button, you'll go to it and you'll see like, oh, this looks surprisingly similar. Well, actually, it doesn't even look like a normal button, actually. But that's a oof. But yeah, you can still have the button elements on there. But it was so I can get things like this: on pointer click, on pointer enter, on pointer exit, and then I can handle the click events and behavior myself. And that is actually, because I do that, that's how I get these, fancy little buttons to come on. Yeah, that's how I get these
Good
fancy
morning.
buttons
I am ready to talk with you.
that highlight as you move your mouse over them. That is being done because they're custom buttons, essentially. Just don't be afraid to do that. It's pretty simple overall. You just find the way the button was made in the first place, and you use the same base classes, inherited classes that button used, and then you use the events and methods that were in those base classes to create your brand new tab button with. And then I do have UI button here too, which is different too. You'll notice it actually inherits the normal button, but then I'm setting like the UI colors and everything from that. And I think an example of UI button I have in my widgets here, button. My button here is a UI button. And you'll see the normal UI stuff, but then you'll see other colors and things in that. And there's other cases where I've before done this exact same thing, but added more events even too. Because sometimes you want different types of things to happen with your button. You don't necessarily just want it to react only on click. So you can go in and even rewrite these, the event handler for it. But yeah, that's all I have for today. That's my little mini rant even too, and probably word of advice for new developers even. Hi, Ori Luck. You're a bit late to the show, unfortunately though. Nice seeing you, but we're about to close out for the evening. But yeah, thanks for coming in and checking out the channel. Feel free to check out the VOD that'll be posted once it's done processing, of course. And yeah, you all have a good night. I'm gonna go do whatever, probably play some Monster Hunter, I don't know, whatever. And that is it for tonight. Hey, Pumpkin, say good night to chat.
Perhaps you'll join us again soon, chat. Until
Not
then,
Chad,
good night.
Chat.